Secretary to the Honorable Governor to kindly give the welcome speech.
Good morning to all of you. Sagalyan Karyavakar. His Excellency, Honorable Governor of Goa, Sri P.S. Pillai sir. Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice Yeshwant Chandrachud, Dhananjay Yeshwant Chandrachud. Honorable CM of Goa, Dr. Pramod Saran. First Lady, Madam Rita Sridharan. Officials and officers of Government of Goa, Chief Secretary, Vice Chancellor, DGP, and Honorable Supreme Court and Honorable High Court. Invitees, staff and officers of Raj Bhavan and Government of Goa, friends from media and representatives of all media. It is a proud privilege for us today to have Honorable Chief Justice of India to release the book edited and compiled by our Honorable Governor of Goa. This is in fact fifth in the series of books about Goa after Honorable Governor has toured every nook and corner of Goa. Sir, he has covered all the villages and panchayats in Goa. After that he has written Goa Gawa Sampurna Yatra and a Vamana Vriksha Kala, which is about popularly known as bonsai. We have 1008 plants in our Raj Bhavan lands. And this book is a result of a symposium which was held in April 24 about the books which have been presented by eminent personalities across India. And he has taken several initiatives including protection of indigenous Shweta Kapila goats in Goshala of Raj Bhavan. Apart from that, there are several other initiatives. He has been a very, very prolific writer, sir. That this is a 244th book spanning 50 years of literary writing. And we welcome you, sir. And we are privileged to have Honorable Chief Justice of India, who is very, very illustrious family. He comes from an illustrious family and he has been part of very, very important judgments giving empowerment to women and other things. We welcome your Lordship. We welcome our young and dynamic Honorable Chief Minister of Goa has put Goa on the path of growth and development. I take this opportunity to invite each one of you, including students, faculty, and everyone. Thank you. Devabarikar.
Thank you, sir. Today we have amongst us our very own Dr. Pramod Saran, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa. Sir, I entreat you to kindly say a few words on this occasion.
For this special function, the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, Honorable Governor of Goa, Sri P.S. Pillai, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is an immense pleasure for me to stand before you today on the occasion of the release of book Traditional Trees of Bharat, the work compiled and edited by Honorable Governor of Goa, Sri P.S. Pillai. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Honorable Governor for the success of his endeavor that symbols of the deep-rooted connection between our ancient tradition, our natural environment, a connection that has shaped a very soul of our Bharat. I am very happy and honored to witness the success of Honorable Governor's research journey that has culminated in this literally the piece of the art narrates the tale of our great nation. The release of the Traditional Trees of Bharat comes as a continuation of the Honorable Governor's inspiring work, follows the Heritage Trees of Goa, and which was published just few months ago. I would like to sincerely congratulate Honorable Governor for his efforts towards creating the awareness about our natural heritage and our bringing to forth the profound wisdom that our ancestors cherished and practiced. I am aware that this book is a significant endeavor to bridge the knowledge of the past with the scientific wisdom of today. Trees have been more than mere source of livelihood in India, and they were the part of our spiritual, cultural, and ecological heritage. From the scared pimple tree, and which holds the religious importance, to the banyan, which symbolizes its longevity, strength. Each tree tells the story, one that mirrors our traditional rituals, the way of life. On these special occasions, we were blessed to have Honorable Justice of India, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud, to release the first copy of this remarkable book. His gracious presence adds immense significance to this event. I am deeply honored to receive the first copy of this important work. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Governor to conceptualizing these books and his efforts to safeguard and promote the wisdom of our ecological heritage. This is indeed a visionary step towards strengthening the harmony between the traditional knowledge and modern science. On this occasion, let us all pledge to carry forward this knowledge to preserve the environment for the future generation and to inspire others, particularly our youth, to reconnect with the nature and appreciate the invaluable gift that our trees and natural heritage offers. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Dev Bare.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Honorable Governor of Goa, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, to grace the occasion with a presidential speech.
Our Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud ji, our dynamic Chief Minister, all other distinguished guests, and my dear friends. I am extremely happy today because the Chief Justice of India is releasing a book publishing by the Raj Bhavan. Raj Bhavan has already published 22 books, and today, sitting Chief Justice of India, I, as a part of the fraternity, legal fraternity, because my wife is a lawyer, my son-in-law, all family connected to legal field, and our Chief Justice is concerned. Of course, in the welcome speech regarding judgments referred here, I am not repeating it because only I am having 5 minutes time. Important 3 things I noted in our Honorable Chief Justice is that Chief Justice of India, Sri Chandrachud ji, took the court to the people. And secondly, our Chief Justice created history by implementing virtual court and live streaming. Second point. Third, promoting local languages in judicial system. I mean judgments translated into local languages. It is told that more than 10,000 judgments are in fact translated into local languages. In 1956, I think so, subject to correction from my memory, there was an amendment in favor of these local languages. But I am not blaming any language and other things, I am not coming to that point. But judgment, legal fraternity or academicians, instead of that, common people throughout India, in their own language, they are able to read it. That is one of the greatest achievements. Of course, Mahatma Gandhi ji, a good writer, but he always preferred to write in Gujarati. Maximum number of books. He is one of the best lawyer also in South Africa. His income was $15,000 at that time. Nobody is not at that. Then he specifically insisted for these local languages. Sir, we are thankful to you. And I am not going to any point because time is very limited. Now India is considered as the most vibrant democracy in the world. I am remembering one thing. Immediately after our constitution came into existence, the world famous constitutional expert Ivor Jennings, he visited Madras University and made a speech there. In that I am not going to the details. too long, too rigid. He criticized not only the contents in the book, but the Constituent Assembly members also indirectly. He made some unnecessary comments according to me. But you see, our constitution stood as test of time after 70 years or 73, 74 years after that. But Ivor Jennings prepared the constitution for Ceylon, Nepal, without any prejudice to anybody. I would like to say, Ceylon constitution at that time, 1950s, Nepal constitution at that time, they have not completed 10 years and thrown away by the people. But our constitution, it is just like a Bhagavad Gita or Quran or Bible. And I am very happy to say that dignity of our judicial system, maximum respect to constitution given by our courts, especially Supreme Court, and of course difference of opinion may be there. What is the meaning of democracy? Right to differ. Various views are there, and I am very happy to say that our Chief Justice of India is here to release the book of Rajabal, and legal field also, once upon a time, freedom struggle and thereafter also, the lawyers are more and more involved in public activities. I don't know now, one comment in my mind I am not saying, whether money alone is the criteria or the people. Always I am saying, our constitution's mandate is that people are supreme and we are servants, including governor. We are doing service to the people. We are bound to do service to the people. But at the same time, three pillars of our constitution. Of course, our Constituent Assembly never anticipated any violation of the Lakshmana Rekha of three organs. Here, Chief Minister, Chief Justice of India, and press is there. So we'll have to keep it, the Lakshmana Rekha, properly, and we are growing day by day in the world. Now our country is accepted as the most important democratic setup in the world, and as far as judiciary is concerned, I am also part of that legal fraternity. In that way, the final person I am respecting, not protocol or anything, but the Chief Justice of India. He himself, the Lordship is going to release my book. My book already Secretary stated, I am not taking time, and I am so much thankful to all of you for attending this function. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Respected Honorable Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice Dhananjay Y. Chandrachud, I kindly request you, sir, to release the book Traditional Trees of Bharat by Honorable Governor of Goa, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai.
Come closer. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
I now request His Lordship, Dr. Justice Dhananjay Y. Chandrachud, Honorable Chief Justice of India, to kindly address this gathering.
Namaskar. The respected Governor of Goa, Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Shri Secretary to the Governor, Shri M.R.M. Rao, all the distinguished members of the government here, the officers, Ma'am, Governor, distinguished guests and esteemed dignitaries. On an earlier meeting with the respected Governor, I was so delighted to receive from him a collection of the books which had come from his pen. I was even more delighted when Rajapalji said to me that he is a member of the bar and that he practiced before the Kerala High Court, because that immediately strikes a chord between lawyers, and we are all members of the bar. Though I've become a judge, I still feel I'm a member of the bar, and I dare say the same feeling which the Honorable Governor also has in his mind. I know that he has been so active in social life, in the public life of the nation, apart from being just a person dedicated to the profession of law. And it's truly remarkable that Rajapalji has found time to pen all these books on diverse social issues which are of extreme value and importance to our nation. When I was Chief Justice of the High Court of Judicature at Allahabad for 3 years, between 2013 and 2016, I had occasion to interact very personally with the then Rajapalji in Allahabad of Uttar Pradesh, Ram Naik ji. And Ram Naik ji, before I met him, had appeared before me in the Bombay High Court, and when I swore him in as the Governor of Uttar Pradesh, he said, "Do you remember me?" And I right away remembered the occasion. He had done a lot of work for the commuters in the suburban trains of Mumbai. And apart from that, he had actively represented the farmers whose lands had been acquired for the Tarapur nuclear project. And he used to come regularly to my court and appear, not then as a governor, but as a public-spirited person. So when he was sworn in as the Governor of Uttar Pradesh, Ram Naik ji asked me one question. He says, "I still want to go back to the Bombay High Court and appear for all those poor farmers who I am representing, because nobody knows their case as well as I know the case." So he said, "I have my first question to you, Chief Justice. As a governor, can I go back to the High Court and appear for these poor people whom I represent?" So I said, "Respected Rajapalji, I'm sure that you can entrust this work to any dynamic young lawyer who will appear on your behalf, but there are some restraints of office." But truly the reason I mention this is that this is a great tradition in our country of the Honorable Rajapalji's, the governors, being actively involved in so much of the public life of the nation. And I think this is in the same tradition that Shri P.S. Sridharan Pillai, the Honorable Governor of Goa, has written one more in a succession of books which will serve the cause of the nation. So I am truly privileged to release this book, Traditional Trees of Bharat, a work which is profoundly important in these times of environmental crisis and climate change, as we seek to reconnect with our roots and understand the vital role trees play in our ecosystem. Just last weekend I was in the Bandipur National Park and Sanctuary, and I drove through the Bandipur National Park, and then I went to Madumalai, which is really on the tri-junction but in Tamil Nadu. And one thing which I was really impressed by is looking at the wide variety of flora and fauna. Small trees, young trees, large trees which tell you that we are only a speck in the universe of existence. When you look at these huge trees which are 200 or 300 years old, you realize how inconsequential human life is. Like when you travel to Ladakh and look at the majesty of the mountains, and you look at the glaciers, and you say that, well, even one glacier can swallow me up, and how insignificant is human life and how much we are dependent on the power of nature. I was also deeply struck by trees which had fallen, trees which had fallen, they were no longer living trees. But the importance of the forest is that no tree which is even dead is removed from the forest. Because that tree gives back to the forest. Because that tree becomes a source of regenerating nature and life. Whether it's in the fungi, it's in the small insects, in the birds which will make a home in the bark of that fallen tree. The protection of our rivers, mountains and the environment is a deeply embedded Indian sentiment, reflected in our ancient traditions and spiritual beliefs. In the stories passed down from generation to generation, nature is not just a resource, it is alive, sacred and deeply intertwined with our existence. In Indian mythology, trees have always held a sacred place. The peepal tree, for instance, is revered as an embodiment of Lord Vishnu and is believed to grant spiritual enlightenment to those who seek solace beneath its branches. It is often associated with healing and protection, symbolizing the connection between the physical and the spiritual realms. Similarly, the banyan tree is considered the Kalpavriksha, a wish-fulfilling divine tree. But it is more than that. It is a symbol of endurance. Its massive canopy offers shelter to travelers, animals, and birds alike, while its roots, which descend from its branches, create new life wherever they touch the ground. In some stories, the banyan is seen as the tree under which the universe regenerates itself, with its endless branches representing the eternal cycle of life. I didn't realize all this when I was a small child. There was a banyan tree in the house of a colleague of my father who was a judge of the Bombay High Court. Justice V.M. Tarkunde, a very distinguished judge. He lived in a bungalow called Ajanta. All that tree meant with us, for us as young children, was that we could swing from the branches, which we did every day. These stories remind us that in India, trees are more than just part of the landscape. They are living entities with deep spiritual and cultural significance. The book by the governor beautifully captures this essence, reminding us not only of their sacred importance, but also of their practical role in sustaining life. Trees serve as the lifeblood of ecosystems, providing shelter and protection to countless species of animals and birds. From the smallest insects that burrow into the bark to birds that nest in the branches, trees are nature's sanctuaries. Beyond offering shelter, trees provide food and nourishment. Fruit-bearing trees like the mango and the jamun sustain not only humans but also myriad of wildlife, from birds to bats to deer. In forest, trees form a complex web of life where each branch, leaf and root plays a vital role in the balance of nature. In my previous residence as a judge of the Supreme Court and before I took over as the Chief Justice of India, we had a beautiful moringa tree. And when the lockdown took place and we had a little more time to look at nature than what our busy lives give us, I used to watch the birds which came into the moringa tree. Each of these birds, whether it was a parrot or any other bird in the ecosystem, would open the drumstick, open it very carefully, not destroy the whole of it, open only that much that was required to sustain itself for that moment, eat it and run away and fly away. Likewise, in our garden now, in the official residence of the Chief Justice of India, when I sit to work on my laptop and I look at the birds coming into the tree, I am always struck by the fact that they never ask for more than they require at that moment. In the summer when Delhi was going up to 52 degrees, we used to keep water for the birds across our garden and some grains. My Secretary General, Mr. Atul Kurekar, Mr. Mahesh Patinkar, Mr. Rakesh Sharma, who was here, we all created pots of water which we put in different parts of the Supreme Court compound, because birds were falling dead in the heat. We also kept food for them in the form of grains. One thing which always struck me was, however hot it was in Delhi, the bird will not continue drinking water. The bird will take only one drop of water or 2 drops of water. They do not bother about tomorrow or the later part of the day, as we humans believe. We are always bothered about what will happen tomorrow to us, to our children. Birds only live in the present, and nature only lives in the present. That's something which is a great life's learning experience for us, namely to be mindful, to live in the present, to think of the present, to understand the blessings of life which are conferred on us. The blessing of life, for instance, of being at this moment overlooking the beautiful Dona Paula. Why think of tomorrow? Why think of this evening? We must really be focused, and that's what nature teaches us. The book is divided into two significant sections: the ethno-medicinal flora of the sacred groves of Kerala and an exploration of India's medicinal tree legacy. Within these sections, we discover the remarkable heading properties of healing properties of various trees. For instance, the neem tree, known as the village pharmacy, possesses anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antiviral properties, making it effective in treating conditions ranging from skin diseases to infections. Similarly, the Ashoka tree is revered for its ability to alleviate menstrual disorders, while the Bale tree is celebrated for its efficacy in curing gastrointestinal diseases. The knowledge encapsulated in this book highlights the invaluable contributions of traditional trees to our understanding of natural remedies and their integration into holistic practices. Just the day before yesterday, I inaugurated the International Conference on the Advancements of Research and Global Opportunities for Holistic Ayurveda. Because I follow an Ayurvedic lifestyle, thanks to my wife. We are also vegans. So we are not just vegetarians, but we are vegans, which means that we practice a lifestyle to the extent possible, humanly, of leading cruelty-free lifestyles. This gathering brought together experts and practitioners from around the world to explore the integration of traditional knowledge and modern science in promoting health and wellness. It highlighted the importance of nature in promoting holistic well-being, reinforcing our deep connection to the environment. While trees are valuable sources of medicinal compounds, their value extends beyond that. They symbolize resilience and longevity, offering us lessons in sustainability and balance. Their presence in our ecosystems contributes to our overall health, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. Trees constantly tell us that the world and nature is constantly regenerating, and we need not be fearful of human existence, because there is a universality of nature, of human existence, and the universality of what nature symbolizes, that nature is eternal. The protection of trees and forests is a vital aspect of environmental conservation, enshrined in our constitution. India has long recognized the intrinsic value of nature, which often stems from the importance placed on the environment in traditional South Asian societies. Article 48A of the Constitution states that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forests and wildlife of the country. But it's not only about the state doing it. What about we as citizens? Article 51A gives a fundamental duty that every citizen must protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. These provisions establish a clear constitutional mandate for the protection of nature. Years ago, I went with my now distinguished brother, Justice Koteshwar Singh, who was then a judge of the Manipur High Court. And he took me to this very sacred grove where there were sacred trees thousands of years ago. And he told me only one thing. He said, well, we'll walk through this. The tribal communities do not allow anybody to take a fruit and take it outside that grove. You eat what you want to eat, but eat it within the grove. Pluck what you want to pluck, but consume it within that grove. They say that if you eat something, it's fine. If you take it outside, some tragedy will befall that particular community. But that's whether you believe in it or not. And of course, there are people who have deep spiritual beliefs in this. The principle is this, that don't depend on nature for more than what you need. Nature, as the father of the nation has said, has enough to provide everybody's need, but it does not have enough to provide for everybody's greed. Not only do these provisions exist within the Constitution, but our courts have developed a very sustainable jurisprudence based on principles like sustainable development, the precautionary principle, the polluter pays principle, the principle of intergenerational equity. Intergenerational equity may appear to be a newfangled international practice, But that is what our grandmothers have taught us, our grandparents have taught us, our mothers and fathers have taught us, of really passing on acquired knowledge about nature from generation to generation. When I was growing up as a young child, I was not a very strong young child. My mother must have spent hours and nights on an end tending to me when I had high fever. But she would always follow traditional remedies taken from one of our trees. If she had an injury on her toe, she would never use iodine or benzene or anything like that. She would use a bibba, as I was telling our Secretary General a short while ago, to attend to our problems. Or if we had a cut while playing, it would always be a lape which would be tied around our foot or our hand. It's important that we do not leave or lose these acquired learnings and wisdom of the past. Therefore, I think that the book which has been brought out by the Honorable Governor has a tremendous potential to pass on learning to the present and the future generations. I would only request I would make one suggestion very respectfully, which is that we can really put out the book online now and have the book published in all Indian languages. As the Honorable Governor said, it's been part of our mission in the Supreme Court to translate all the judgments of the Supreme Court into Indian languages. In fact, 37,000 judgments of the Supreme Court have already been translated into Hindi, right from independence until today. We're translating judgments into every Indian language. I'm sure we'll also be having more judgments translated into Konkani, in Marathi, in Telugu, in Malayalam, in Tamil, because that's the way our people will understand the work which we do. And I think by putting the book online and translating it into different Indian languages, we'll really carry the message of this traditional learning to all our communities across India. I began with the story of Ram Naik ji. Pardon me for again referring to him. He was very, very close to us, and even thereafter we have kept in touch. He wrote a book in Marathi called Charavati Charavati. And Charavati Charavati has now been translated into multiple Indian languages and into foreign languages and is being published worldwide, about the story of somebody whose life has been committed to social service and public life in the nation. And the governor has been so deeply associated with our public life, our social life. So this message of Rajapal ji should not be only confined to the English knowing population. It also will send a very important message of climate change. Everywhere you go, you see that there are effects of climate change. Today I was walking in the morning at Miramar Beach. Every time I go to Goa, I have to go from the beginning of Miramar Beach to Dona Paula at the end and come back. It takes about an hour and 15 minutes to do that. I was happy that today it was a clear day. I was told that it was raining heavily. When I was young, our mothers would always say, never fish or never eat fish in a month which does not have R. So you never ate fish after April came to an end, because that was the breeding time of for the fish. That's all changed now. But I'm told that there was rain in Goa yesterday, which was absolutely inconceivable when we were children. Because when we were children, the theory that we were told by our mother was that the day that the fisher folk offer the coconut to the sea on the occasion of Narali Purnima, that is when the rain gods will fade away. The rain gods don't fade away after Narali Purnima, they continue now in October or even in November. That's happened in Mumbai, it's happened in Bangalore. Last weekend we were dislocated in our plans while coming back from Bangalore to Delhi because of the intense rain. So this is not our doing necessarily. We are the inheritors of what previous societies across the world have done in the pursuit of the Industrial Revolution and the greenhouse gas emissions. But we have to perform our role to protect our communities. And as we know, climate change is not just affecting the affluent societies. Climate change is affecting the most marginalized of societies. It's affecting the fishing communities who depend upon the sea, and where rising water levels are affecting the fishing communities, those who are dependent on agriculture, the subsistence farming. So it's really our response to climate change is to protect the most vulnerable sections of our society. Therefore, this connection between trees and human well-being is beautifully captured in Traditional Trees of Bharat, which emphasizes the deep-rooted significance of trees in our culture and environment. It reminds us that traditional knowledge about the importance of trees, whether for medicinal properties, their role in ecosystems, or cultural symbolism, must be preserved and passed on. It is our collective responsibility to protect trees and in turn safeguard the future for generations to come. There is a symbolism, right? When we do a puja at home, do a Satyanarayan puja at home, you'll always have the kalash in which you will put the form of the mango branch, or you'll put up the plantain tree, the banana tree on all four sides. So our whole lives as Indians are completely embedded on the environment. Finally, we must all ask ourselves the question, what is the environmental cost of our practices? For instance, many of our professional activities require excessive documentation and the use of paper. According to some studies, producing 100,000, 1 lakh that is, A4 size sheets, 80 GSM of paper from news sources requires over 8 trees and almost 2000 kilowatts of energy. This dark reality urges us to rethink our habits and find ways to minimize paper use. I encourage all of you to consider this impact and adopt practices which prioritize sustainability, whether through digital documentation, recycling, or using recycled paper. Every small effort counts in saving trees and ensuring a healthier planet for future generations. I think we have to also ask ourselves about how we want to modulate our lifestyle. Traditionally, our farmers, all of us, we relied on millets. Millets require very low water consumption, whether it's jawar or bajra or natsrini, as we say in Marathi, ragi. Millets require a very small amount of water, and they are linked to the seasons. Now we all think that it's fashionable to start eating wheat and rice, though that's not part of our intrinsic diet. And one thing which veganism has taught me as a human being is to go back to nature and to learn what our bodies are basically meant to absorb. And we must therefore, in that sense, in our focus on our living in oneness with nature, understand our place as human beings in the wider ecosystem, as people who derive from nature, but who must respect nature. We worship nature, we enjoy the beauty of nature. At the same time, we must understand the power of nature. If we feel that we can, as human beings, dominate nature, we are wrong. Nature is supreme, and nature has her own way of coming back to us with a vengeance, as we see across the world today, whether it's in the form of the floods, which recently, the hurricane which took place in the United States just last week in Florida. So nature is telling us, and I think the value of this book, which has been written by Rajapalji, it's a stark reminder to us. Please understand the importance of nature and the traditional trees of Bharat, of which there is such a great plenty and diversity, and which is for us and for future generations to preserve. Rajapalji, I'm grateful to you for this great honor to me to come to Raj Bhavan and to release this book. I've been here before, I've stayed at the Raj Bhavan, and it's been personally a beautiful moment for me to return once again to release such a well-written book. Thank you, Chief Minister. Thank you, Rajapalji. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring us all as well as rooting us back to Mother Earth. I now request our dignitaries and guests to stand in honor of